Yes. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to our first webinar from the Workspace Wisdom series on Gemini for Workspace. We are glad to have you here for our webinar. Whether you're joining us from India or Southeast Asia, we hope you'll find this session valuable. Before we delve into the specifics of Gemini for Workplace, let's quickly go over the today's agenda. To begin, I'll introduce to our speakers and provide a brief introduction to Searce. Then our first speaker, Mr. Ferdy Sapital, will then walk us through the future of work landscape, where he will tell us everything from the introduction to the revolution of AI and its impact on modern workspaces. Then our next speaker, Mr. Amol Petwe, will demonstrate real world Gemini use cases as well as how Sears can help you implement it and what our capabilities are. He will also show us a live demo of Gemini. In the end, we have set aside some time for a question and answer session where you can ask your questions. You can ask your questions in chat box also while the session, but we will address these questions in the end. So I'm pleased to introduce our speakers. Mr. Ferdy Sapital, our first speaker. He's the Director Cloud Consulting APAC with 2 decades of experience in sales, IT, leadership, and digital marketing. Ferdy has a proven track record of driving businesses and innovation. Ferdy has been instrumental in helping organizations across Philippines leverage cloud technology and to transform their operations. Our next speaker, Mr. Amol Petwe, Director, Future of Work Practice India. Amol has over 18 years of experience in IT and technology, and he is known for driving business growth and success. He's helping organizations to transform their businesses in India. So before we proceed, I would like to take a moment to introduce Sears. So who are we and what we do? So Sears is a modern tech consulting firm that empowers clients to future-proof their businesses. We specializes in leveraging the power of cloud, AI, and analytics to drive intelligent, impactful, and futuristic business outcomes. As a niche cloud native technology consulting company, we are committed to modernizing every aspect of businesses, from infrastructure to processes. Sears is a leading born in the Google Cloud Premier partner with a global presence across 18 plus locations and 10 plus years of experience in the cloud technology. We have successfully delivered 1,000 plus projects for almost 3,000 customers. And if I have to highlight Sears, in 3 to 4 sentences, we are the 5-time Google Cloud Partner of the Year. We have expertise in key areas like infrastructure, workplace transformation, data analytics, and location based services. We are the first to implement cloud search in JPAC, and we are the fastest growing GCP partner in the region. So at Sears, we are at the forefront of modern technologies. Next slide, please. Yes, so at Sears, we are at the forefront of modern technology consulting. We leverage a wide range of cutting edge tools and solutions to help businesses thrive in today's digital landscape. So we provide modern technologies like from cloud modernizations with GCP and AppSheet to data and analytics powered by Looker and big data science. We have the expertise to drive your business forward. For customers that value business resilience, we provide powerful backup and disaster recovery solutions to safeguard your vital data. Our software engineering team specializes in using AI, machine learning, and strategic thinking to develop creative solutions that will help your company grow in the future. Next, future of workspace. So, future of work refers to optimizing processes and automating operations. We support customers in achieving this by leveraging our expertise in process optimization and automation techniques. Finally, our location intelligence capabilities provide real time insights and immersive experiences, while our applied AI solutions leverage strategic thinking to drive game changing results. So I'm pleased to hand over this virtual floor to our first speaker, Mr. Ferdy Sapital. Ferdy, over to you.
Thanks, Shamal. Good morning and good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to this webinar. I'm Ferdy Saputil, and I'm a director for consulting here at Searce. And the topic of today's webinar is really how to future-proof your business with Gemini for Workspace. So what's Gemini? For this conversation, Gemini is Google's generative AI service that runs on top of Google Workspace. But before we jump into the features and functionalities of Gemini for Workspace, let's take a step back and try to answer the question why. What's the value of having Gemini over Workspace or even Gen AI for your business? I'll just definitely jump into some quick slides on Gen AI first, and of course, the Google's journey on Gen AI. Next slide, please. I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on this one. Most have already accepted the fact that AI really is the third biggest shift from internet, mobile, and then to AI. Next slide, please. But for Google, AI is actually heavily embedded in its mission. Just a quick background on myself. I was with Google for almost 7 years, leading other countries before I actually joined Searce. I've personally seen this evolution. Google's mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. So you cannot organize the world's information if you're not a data company, and definitely you cannot make it universally accessible and useful if you're not an AI company. Next slide, please. That's why Google has been launching a number of services, more than 100 plus AI applications, most of its consumer products over the years, from generated short answers, Smart Compose, Translate, Google Lens, photos, or even taking out photo bombers with Magic Eraser on your applications, on your phones. Next slide, please. But for Gen AI, the revolution actually started with Google when it released Transformers. I'm not referring to the robots that transforms, but this is actually the neural network technology and the neural network approach that actually kicked off the large language model revolution. So that's why, interestingly, the T in ChatGPT of OpenAI is actually transformers. GPT means generative predictive transformers. Next slide, please. But yet the most questions in mind for most of the Gen AI adoption is Gen AI another concept car. If you're familiar with concept cars, these are the nice and shiny cars that you normally see in car shows that will never see the light of day in terms of being in production you won't see them running in our streets. So regardless if it's a car that runs on water or whatever, these are again initial concepts. And the question for most organizations is that will Gen AI be one of those nice shiny science projects that most enterprise organizations are taking on right now? Which is actually a very valid question. Next slide, please. And the reason for this is primarily because there, though there has been a number of proof of concept use cases development, not a lot actually has reached the level of a production environment. And the reason for that is because most Gen AI initiatives was not really anchored to a clear business outcome. Like, will it save costs actually for my business? Will it be a differentiation for my business versus my competition? Will actually make my employees happier? So these are the things that are actually important when you look into Gen AI adoptions for most organizations. Next slide, please. So this is the same question for Google and all of the products that are actually running on Gen AI. So that's why Google recently released did a global study on the ROI of Gen AI. Next slide, please. And just to give some context on how the study was conducted, it was a 14-minute online survey with 2,500 plus global business leaders. And the target base for the interview are companies who actually have more than 100 employees with at least an annual revenue of $10 million. Next slide, please. The survey assessed the direct value of Gen AI in three measures. Number one is ROI. And on ROI, it's showing that 3 out of 4 companies are actually seeing ROI from their Gen AI investments. The second one is they measured annual revenue. And it's showing that 86% of organizations using Gen AI are seeing 6% or more gains on their annual revenue. And the third one is actually accelerated time to value. And it's showing that 84% of organizations are able to transition from a Gen AI use case to an actual production in 6 months. And once in production, they have actually also seen and attributed to an increase in terms of the annual revenue from 12 months and onward. Next slide, please. The study also looked into the other business benefits of Gen AI within the organization beyond the financial impact. One glaring number is the increase in the organization's productivity, and it has shown that productivity has actually doubled. Other areas have shown an 85% increase in user experience and improved customer experience and customer satisfaction. One last area that I would like to call out, equally important, is actually the improvement in terms of security and the security posture of an organization. Improvements in being able to identify threats much easier, and a big reduction in time spent in terms of threat resolution. Next slide, please. This is just another view highlighting productivity to have the highest immediate ROI upon implementation versus other use cases for organizations who actually have already adopted generative AI across the board. And some of the productivity improvements are around IT processes and self-productivity, faster time to insights, and better accuracy. Next slide, please. So just my last slide, just to wrap it up. I remember during the pandemic, the most common question that I normally get from CEOs and other executives is that if I want to show my organization that I am indeed digitally transforming the company, what should be my first project? And my usual response is actually, you should adopt Google Workspace. It changes the way you actually share information. It changes the way you work. It changes the way you collaborate with your team and your organization. It changes the way you actually think about product development and more. And now the question that I normally get is that if we're going to adopt Gen AI in our organization, what will be the most practical use case with the fastest ROI? And my answer is to adopt Gemini on Google Workspace. And with that, let me turn over to my colleague Amol to discuss more in the details on GWS, Gemini on GWS, and of course, the Searce services. Thank you, and turning it over to you, Amol.
Thank you so much, Fadi, and it is really great. I think you have set the right context about Gemini AI for Workspace. Iman, if you can just go to the next slide. And this is what I would want to now talk about here. I would be focusing on how. It is very important that after setting the context by Ferdy, it is important that how do we do it? I think there are three areas which Ferdy talked about. One is ROI, the second one is revenue, and the third one is time to value. Let's also look at how, at an organization level, at a different function heads level, this would be more useful when we look at Gemini AI, when we want to implement at an organization level, right? And that's where these four personas that we have tried to capture in one particular slide to give you a view how a marketing head would be able to add value in the overall organization by improving effectiveness in their marketing activities, right? How our HR head would be able to hire and retain the quality talents. Our product officer would be able to position as well as do a right pricing also, and at the same time revenue officer would be able to enhance the sales effectiveness within the organization. So these are some of the added value what Gemini will definitely bring in for the organization. With that, if we go to the next slide, and we'll be able to actually see Gemini AI for Workspace comes with different look and feel or interfaces, right? There is one interface which talks about integrating with individual tools of Google Workspace. I'm sure everybody here would be using Gmail on a personal lives, and there would be some of the people would be using Google Workspace on their enterprise life as well. You would see that there are email communications via Gmail, there are file storage and sharing takes place on Drive, and at the same time, Google's Office Productivity Suite has its own platforms like Doc, Sheets, and Slides. So Gemini is one interface integrates with all these tools individually. The second interface, no, you go to the next earlier slide only. The second interface, we basically talk about the interface that you see on the screen. This is called gemini.google.com. This is the chat. This is what everybody uses on probably chat GPT as well, right? So this is something gemini.google.com is only available for the enterprises. So here we want to highlight enterprise grade generative AI platform. Moving on to the next, we would then able to see the another interface, and that's where the site panel integrated with all the Google Workspace tool has also been launched. Okay. Now, with that, definitely one of the aspect which Ferdy also covered is in terms of the security. Let me quickly talk about the security in my next slide, where I want to highlight how enterprises, when they are actually using Gemini AI, which is generative AI for Google Workspace, stays the data within the purview of the enterprise domain. It does not move out of it. So as a result, your data stays within your network and within your domain.
Mhm. I guess there is some network issue. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it better now?
Yeah, we lost you for 1 second. It's good.
Sorry. So if you can go back to the earlier slide again. On the security side, it's very important for all of us to know that this is not you are opening your documents to the public. It is stays within the enterprise domain only. Okay. Move to the next. And there are four different areas. Now, what we have seen is different types of Gemini. One is definitely Gemini Business, then Gemini Enterprise. There are few more add-ons which Gemini AI for Workspace has launched, and those are very, very important. And one talks about the security add-ons, the other one talks about meetings and messaging add-ons. That will be very useful for the enterprises. Move on to the next AI classification, and that's the very, very important use case for all the IT and security officers within the organization. And this is one of the very useful case where you come up with a lot of documents. These are documents come with very sensitive words, data points, and you want to classify these documents. Instead of we doing it manually, AI classification helps you doing it basis the type of documents that you feed into the system. Okay, so that from in future any documents related to those sensitive documents would be automatically classified. Okay, so this is a very important add-on which Google has introduced for all the enterprises, and I think this is something which is very important. Moving on to the next, there are collaboration and communication standpoint. Google is keep on adding so many functionalities in terms of their Gemini AI, something on the meat side, so that you can express really better when you are connected virtually, right? And it's the way we do it on a day-to-day lives. Moving on to the next, some of these other areas that will help you in making your sound better, or making or bringing more light on your face so that it is more visible. Okay, some of these views definitely you will be able to see it. Next, this is important as well. I'm sure, and a lot of language sensitive countries would love it. You are connected with a lot of people globally, and they prefer their own languages sometimes. Meet Google Meet with integration with Gemini AI would help you in language translating to the individual language that you select. Okay, so the person talking in a different language, you would be able to read, understand, comprehend, and then respond. So that's very important piece. And these are some of the areas are getting added into the same platform. So ever growing environment, that is what we want to propose. Yeah. And then we do talk about, yeah, so sound, making your sound better as well on Google Meet. You can go to the next. So these are
Can
some
you hear
of
me
the
clearly? Can you hear me clearly?
totally. Sure. Go to the next. Fine. So this is something which is the interesting part of the presentation. I would like to take the control of the screen. Let me just share my screen. I hope is this visible.
Yes.
So this is an interface of Compose email. Everybody is pretty much aware. I've opened my Gmail, which is sears.com domain. So this is under the enterprise domain. I want to highlight this magic wand, what it will give me, right? So when we talk about help me write, that's the Gemini AI piece that will help you in drafting an email or summarizing an email which has multiple emails coming in that thread. So I have copied. So for in order to save the time, I have actually created prompts at my end, and I'll be using those prompts so that you'll be able to actually see how the effectiveness is. Now, what I'm trying to focus here is I'll be taking an example throughout my demonstration, talking about electric vehicles in the market today and why it is important and how is the way forward for the automotive industry. So the idea is a salesperson. So this is a use case more relevant to the sales team, for example, where we'll be able to actually create an email, drafting that email, reaching out to some of the people for writing an effective communication. So on email, you'll be able to actually, with the help of that prompt, you'll be able to write an email. Now, second is uh, this is my Google Drive interface. Okay. And I'll be opening a Google Docs interface as well, where you would be able to see the doc which comes with help me write as an option as well. So this is another important tool which everybody uses today. What I'm gonna do is I'll be talking about how do we prepare the sales folks. Can they prepare elevator pitch with the help of a Gemini AI by putting a simple prompt, and this will help us in actually creating a very good elevator pitch for our CEOs, right? If you want, you always able to refine this. You will be able to match the tone, either formal or casual. You can actually make this more bulletized so that pointers can be remain useful, or you shorten it, elaborate, or you can keep on retrying these prompt so that you would be getting different contents, and every time it will maintain all the contents as a history so that you can use those as well. If you want, you can insert. So the moment you insert this is a document which comes with the elevator pitch for you. Okay. And then the same document can be shared with multiple people and with your team as well for effectiveness. The second is another use case which I would like to highlight is in terms of the Google Sheets. Now, Google Sheets allows you to create tables, create or organize a particular table. You can provide a prompt to the platform for creating an agenda for conducting a workshop based on the electric vehicle industry. And the moment you do it, what it does is basically come up with a complete table which will have all the agenda, including the topics that needs to be covered, the time that it needs to be covered, as well as the speaker it will be also capturing. So this will help us in saving good amount of time, because this is where these are the tools that I'm trying to showcase. This is where you put a lot of time in creating these documents, right? But here, in a moment, you will be in a position to actually create these documents very effectively. Okay. Uh, if you want, you can also go ahead, you can expand this, you can actually clear history, put more suggestions as well. If you can see it now, here the entire document is ready with a complete table that focuses on the sessions that needs to be covered. Okay, I'll be able to insert this. The moment I insert, okay, you have a complete uh, agenda available with us, along with the time, description of it, speaker, updates. I'll be able to quickly share this. Right, the moment I share this, I'll be able to add more people into it so that we can come on the document, start working on this document simultaneously. And this is where the power of collaboration comes into picture of Google Workspace. So the idea is collaboration and communication, which is really fast in Google Workspace, integrated with Gemini AI, adds tremendous value to all the organization. And this is what we want to highlight. Now, again, I was referring about sales use cases. I started with email drafting by a salesperson. Then I went ahead. I created an elevator pitch for this product as well to the CEOs. Third thing, I created a quick agenda that needs to be presented as part of the workshop to all the CEOs, highlighting the areas that we would be presenting in terms of the EV topic. The third important thing is, why don't we actually go ahead and create a presentation, right? And this is where slides of Google Slides comes into picture. Now, Gemini integrated, this is what that side panel I was referring to. Gemini AI would help us in actually creating a slide related to electric vehicles, right? And this is again based on the prompts that you put. Okay, the moment you do that, it will start uh, providing certain content with you, which is a mixture of your text and the images. You always have an option to retry or look at another options. The moment you insert it, it'll keep on giving you more data points as well. Now, here I want to set the context. Let's say I am creating a slide, why you should buy electric vehicles. There is another option that we would also want to understand is, what is the need of having an EV in the market today? Okay. Then third, we can definitely ask, how do we brainstorm and how do we change the perception of the people why they should go for EV, right? These are some of the areas that will help us in creating slides. So this is where I am now started working on a presentation and slide. And you can actually see, while we are talking, within a minute or two, the entire presentation is available to us. Okay, I keep on adding it. I now want to even go ahead and summarize the entire presentation that we have just created. I'll quickly put that as a prompt also. So Gemini is helping us in delivering faster results is what I want to highlight. We are not actually getting used to it. We will definitely put our brains. We are not going to do that. But then the point is, here this entire summary is available of the presentation with us, right? So these are some of the tools. I hope this is adding value to you in understanding how Gemini AI would add value. Now, I would like to take you to the another interface which I spoke about, which is a chat panel, right? So Gemini.google.com, which is a chat panel, and we call it as it's a AI thought partner for you, right? This is available for you where you will be able to actually do a lot of brainstorming, come up with ideas, a lot of product innovation discussions with your team. Um, Gemini becomes your partner in developing, uh, building, creating areas or projects that you want to drive in your organization, right? With that, some of the large focuses, again, I'm sticking to the EV as a use case. I want to basically understand from Gemini which are the fastest growing EV companies in India or the region specific, right? There are two-wheeler segment, there are four-wheeler segments, there are notable companies also coming up with. I want to then quick understand whether how do we compare India against the other countries in the EV market. Okay, we are talking about other countries where China, Norway, US is coming up. And then what are the biggest challenges in running and setting up a business in India? Though I have taken India as a use case, but definitely useful for irrespective of the regions. We talk about government policies, consumer perceptions, competition, supply chain. These are some of the areas or the challenges uh, companies which want to set up EV business is available. So you could see this is a complete thought partner for you, right? You are talking to, it is coming up with an ideas, it is coming up with a plan that you can actually put in your business plan and develop it more effectively, right? And then talk to the experts so that it is more useful. And how and are these challenges addressable? Now, here I'm talking about a contextual prompt because it is quickly understanding the earlier prompts that you have created related to EV. It will throw up data basis that EV subject only. So this is where a contextual search comes into picture very effectively of Gemini, right? So these were some of the areas and use cases that we wanted to highlight. One talked about tools which are integrated on doc sheets, slides, email, right? Then the second one is purely a thought partner, which is a chat panel, completely assistant available for you. And then the third one, very importantly, which is also available is basically the side panel I was referring to. I would like to show an example where I've downloaded a couple of reports from the government sites. These are reports which are available in the market. Uh, so that's the reason I thought of adding and showcasing here. This is talking about a Zomato as well as a Paytm's annual revenue. What I want to do is I quickly want to understand uh, the performance strategic initiatives as well as the technology or digital transformation initiatives what both of these companies have actually taken. What I'm going to do is I simply copy and drag it into the site panel. Okay, it will quickly summarize basis the documents that it has. Let me tell you that these documents are of minimum 350 pages each, right? So it is actually searching throughout the document quickly, crawling and identifying the relevant component and providing us complete summarization. Meanwhile, what I'll also like to do is I would like to ask few questions to Gemini relevant to these documents as well. Okay, so here we have a quick summary. Okay, about Zomato, then its financial highlights, its key businesses, operational, financial, statutory reports, and all that. We'll have some similarly for the Paytm as well. Now, I want to quickly understand in terms of the digital initiatives that both these companies have taken. So I'm sure on our personal lives, you all are using some of these AI assistants. Some people would be using Gemini on personal, some would be using Chat GPT. What is important is if the data is relevant to your organization and enterprise, utilize Google Gemini, which is integrated with your Google Workspace, adds tremendous value. And here we have a complete data points. So performances of Zomato strategic initiatives that both the companies have taken, right? Some of these digital transformation initiatives also being taken by both these companies. Okay, and then you keep on asking questions to it. Even Gemini keep on suggesting some relevant questions for you to find out the data, search the data, and add in your document, right? So these are some of the areas that I wanted to highlight. I'll quickly go back to my presentation and I'll stop my. Perfect. So these are some of the function-based use cases that I spoke about to start with sales. Similarly, we'll be in a position to do it for marketing, for customer support, HR, admin. There are multiple function-wise use cases can be identified on the Google Workspace via Gemini AI. Okay. Quickly, Shamal has already covered some of these areas, but I would like to highlight a few more areas in terms of the offerings that we provide as part of the future of work as a practice within Sears. And I'll take 2 more minutes to explain that. If you go to the next. So our value proposition is purely there are four different pillars that Sears deals with. Definitely one is collaboration that I've spoken about, shown some of the areas, automation, security, and Gemini AI. These are very important pillars of for the organization that helps us in identifying the real challenges organizations that they are facing on their day-to-day enterprise challenges and how that can be overcome with the help of the services that we provide. Professional services cut across all four pillars, be it security or be it Gemini. We'll be able to understand the current utilization of the technologies and the platform that you're using and propose the newer solutions. Our organization has been we have spent more than 14 years in the industry where we have interacted with so many enterprises, be it digital natives or large conglomerates or core industries, where we have developed and deployed all these services in terms of preparing a business case, talking about advisory, cloud advisory services, implementation along with the data migration services, and very importantly, change management, because some of these tools are transformation platforms. This requires change management, which is top-down approach. And a lot of companies fail to do so, unable to actually enhance the utilization or adoption of these products. And that's where they move out of the platform. And this is where change management training services comes really handy, part of the Sears services portfolio. And finally, we provide managed support services for all our enterprises. So these are some of the areas that I wanted to highlight. We've been doing a lot of integrations with your current environment. So the platforms, when we talk about, does not just deployed as a single platform, right? It needs to be talked up to the other applications that exist. Go to the next. This is where we want to help organizations realize the value, right? So initially, we divide this into three different phases, and this is a journey for every organization that we want to propose. The journey has to start with phase one. It has to start either today or tomorrow, but identifying a real pain point, addressing those pain points with the platform or a solution that we propose, implementing to the effect that it addresses those real pain point is very important, and that's the starting phase. And that keep on adding more value to it, so that adoption enhances and your value realization also start coming in more. And this is the journey that we propose to all enterprises, right? So first 6 months is where you realize that the adoption is increasing slowly, but it peaks later once we start using it, and that's the compound effect that we want to highlight. Move to the next. These are some of the metrics that helps organization in understanding why Sears, right? We've been doing businesses, so many accounts are associated with us, enterprises. These are important partners, we call it as. We are learning over a period of time with basis their challenges that they are coming and sharing with us. We have helped so many organizations, more than eight close to 1 million users that is available on our platform or panel today. We have automated so many business processes as well and implemented Gemini across all these organizations. And that's how the retention score that we'll be able to get as well. Move to the next. These are some of the large enterprises that I want to highlight. Companies who are associated with us. It's a mix of conglomerates, core industries, digital natives. Companies which are growing in their business are the companies preferring Google Cloud, Google Workspace specifically for their communication and collaboration environment. And this is where they able to do a lot of innovations in their products and services as well, because employees who are using these tools on a day-to-day life, they feel connected to the organization. They want to continue using these technologies which are the latest and greatest in the market today, and that's how these organizations are associated with us, and we've been helping them in terms of their digital transformation journey. Move to the next. There are large projects that we have done as well, large from 10,000 size to 70,000 people to 100,000 people as well, where we do migration, understanding their workloads and migrating to the newer environment, and then providing a change management I spoke earlier. And quick success stories. AirAsia to start with. Here, even though Google Workspace being deployed, the dependency was on the Microsoft third-party platforms, such as macros, such as Microsoft Excel, such as SharePoint sites. All these three areas, because of which the adoption on Google Workspace were not being utilized so effectively. What we did is we implemented Google Sheets in place of in place of Microsoft Excel. We replaced macros with the help of scripting, which is app script, and integrated with their ERP environment in order to download the data which was in Excel earlier in Google Sheet format. Okay, automatically the utilization on the Google Sheets enhanced, and the dependency on the third-party tool went down. Okay, and then the third important project that we did is a lot of dependency on the SharePoint as part of the intranet portal has been migrated. Data libraries migrated at the back end to Google Workspace, and then Google Sites being created in place of SharePoint sites. So that way we have able to do 80% of reduction in terms of their forecasting time and even the data cost as well, because they could save a lot of cost in terms of the applications that they were actually dependent upon. On similar side, Red Doors, which being into a hospitality industry, we help them improve their downtime and secured collaboration as well. Grab, pretty known organization worldwide, and they've been using Google Workspace since long, but the real change that they have seen in terms of the adoption is by enhancing the product of Google Sheets as well as Google Drive, and then streamlining their operations as well. Move to the next. I would also like to highlight some of the case studies in India. Kirloskar, which was a conglomerate platform company, and they implemented Google Workspace for their dealer networks first to start with. That was the starting phase. As I said, in our value curve, there has to be a phase one. That was the phase one for Kirloskar Group. Looking at them, the entire organization after 1 year moved on to Google Workspace, and this migration was so difficult that it was the pandemic time, and during peak pandemic period, we migrated entire 5,000 set of users from a different platforms and different domains to one single environment and a platform called Google Workspace. Last year, last quarter, they basically have added Gemini AI on their day-to-day operations as well, by enhancing their productivity in terms of docs, sheets, and slides. Flipkart, pretty known e-commerce environment. It's a mammoth in Indian context, and 77,000 employees are on Google Workspace, out of which 23,000 users have moved their operating systems on Chrome as well, which is a part of the Google Workspace environment ecosystem, right? And finally, the securities organization Zerodha, which everybody is pretty much aware. Here, the main use case and important benefits that they have drawn is the security. They have provided data security as well as the controls on their devices, what the employees have, and they are very happy by using these collaboration platforms. With that, I would like to thank everyone and would like to hand over the stage back to Shamal. Shamal, you're on mute.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ferdy. Thank you so much, Amol, for giving us all these insights about Gemini for Workspace. We have 10 minutes, and as I have promised that we have kept some side aside for Q&A. So if you have any questions, you can ask your queries, and speakers will answer those questions. Okay, Roland is saying hi, Ferdy. Nice to see you. Do you have any question?
I think he just wants to say hi.
Okay. We'll give 2 to 3 minutes. If there are any questions, we can address them. Otherwise, we can conclude, we can wrap up the session.
Sure. Shamal, should we also talk about other webinars that we would be organizing in this month? So
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's a question on the Q&A tab
Okay.
from Rahul.
Okay.
Yes. So the question is from Mr. Rahul Srivastava. Does Gemini identify grammatical errors and fix them before summarizing the data uploaded? For example, crocodiles don't jump in the river versus crocodiles don't jump in the river.
I think that's a question asked by a person who is already expert. We'll have to also check instead of we commenting on this. It's, I think, the learning by the machines, right? So I think we'll have to check as well. Thanks, Rahul, for asking.
Thank you so much, Rahul. So I have one question, Amol, about Gemini capabilities.
Sure.
If I'm writing, so can it write different kind of creative content? Like if I want to write any story, I'm asking these questions because I'm from marketing. So can
Absolutely.
it write different stories, poems, or answer questions in a variety of topics?
Absolutely. It is, it all depends on the prompts that we use, Shamal. That's important. And there is a format of using those prompts as well. Okay.
Okay.
That basically helps us in identifying which are the prompts to be utilized, right? So I'll give you an example where it helps you in doing that.
Okay.
Give me a moment. So the best thing is Gemini allows you to, the side panel allows you to actually open up your search environment as well. So anything that is available, you can quickly search basis that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the format basically talks about is persona, context, task, and format.
Okay.
To define what is the persona, for you have to talk about yourself. That if you are searching a specific prompt, then you have to mention the context, what it is, then define what is the task that you want to do. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and format, like how long that statement has to be or the content has to be. So this is called PCTF as a simple formalization.
Okay.
Hope that answers.
Yes. And I've always wanted to ask this question. So I'm asking this question. Are there any limitations, Gemini, if Gemini can't do anything, or if I want to create something, but I'm not getting any answer or any framework, is that possible? Or
It
Gemini
can
knows anything?
it can possible. It's important that these are machine learnings. You need to feed data as well so that it learns over a period of time and start giving accurate data points. Moving ahead, there is a question from Paulo as well.
Yes. So he has two questions. How good is Gemini understanding a blend of English and some other dialect like Filipino? Uh, so first you answer this, and then I'll ask the second question.
So it understands the languages that it supports. Today it supports around 15 languages. Okay, the rest of the languages it is coming up. We'll have to check whether Filipino is supported languages.
Great. And the second question is using AI solutions more expensive in the Philippines because our electricity rates are more expensive than other countries? I like this question.
So, how it happens is you as a user is not going to pay basis the usage of the technology. It is basically based on the per user cost that you would be incurring on a monthly or annual basis. It doesn't matter because electricity doesn't matter at your end, right? It is at a infrastructure level that they need to ensure that it is available. But I like the question as well. I hope
Yeah.
that answers the question.
Probably just to add to that question, Paolo,
Sure.
depends on, well, on the first question. We've checked it, especially for Google Philippines, but yes, definitely Filipino is supported. And the second one, in terms of the other dialects, there are partners that we can actually peers that you can actually work with to actually look into how can we include some of the dialects that we have as part of the large language model training. And yeah, on the answering the question, yeah, I mean, I know how expensive our electricity rates are here in the Philippines, but since majority of the consumption of these cloud services will be coming from other countries like Singapore, then it's
Mm.
actually a single cost for us. We don't need to be concerned in terms of the fluctuations of the prices of the electricity. Yeah. Thanks, Paulo, for the question.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Amol and Fodi, for answering those questions. We have 6 more minutes. Iman, can you share the last slide? And I want to tell everyone that this is the webinar series. The name is Workspace Wisdom with Sears. And we have two more webinars under this series. One is scheduled on 11th September, and the last one is on 25th September. So, where we will learn about secured collaboration as well as how you can build a collaborative work culture. So do not miss these two webinars. And if you have any specific questions or queries, or if you like the technology Gemini, and we can conduct one demo for you, So you can schedule a demo. You can see two different QR code on the screen. So one is for India and one is for SEA, where we have provided the details of our speakers, and they can help you. If you want to deep dive into the technology, they will help you out. You can schedule a demo. You can scan the code and you can contact us. And yeah, that's it from our end. We are very glad that you have joined this session, and we hope you got all the answers. If there are anything, you can contact us. And finally, I want to thank Ferdy and Amol. We will remember that how we can use Gemini for to improve our productivity and for the seamless collaboration, as well as how we can use this technology for different vertical, and we can automate our workflows, and we can we can see the future of workspace here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks.
everyone.
Thanks.
Goodbye. Good day.
Good day.